you guys, long time no see. Today we're going to be doing a bit of an experimental video and we're going to try to paint a vinyl record with gouache. A couple quick pieces of information before we get started. First of all, you will hear a cat meowing during this video. That's my new kitten Loki. He is not allowed in here because he believes that this plant is food. Second of all, I repurposed vinyl records. You don't have to come for me in the comments. We are giving new life to things that would otherwise be thrown away. And third of all, I'm going to give you guys a quick piece of information about gouache for those of you who don't know what it is, so that you understand why this video is an experiment. So gouache is a kind of paint. It is sort of a mixture between acrylic and watercolor. Here is an example that I did the other day on watercolor paper with gouache. So it is water activated paint, and if it dries out, it can be reactivated with water, unlike acrylic paint. The gouache I'm using today is this 24 set of Himi gouache. I got it from Amazon. The reason this may or may not work, and I've had a couple people on TikTok ask me to try this, and that's why I figured I would make it into a video for you today. Unlike canvas, vinyl record is not absorbent, right? It's like painting on a mirror or something. You just kind of have paint that sits on top. And gouache has so much water involved in it that I'm kind of expecting the wetness of the paint, that's a terrible way to describe it, to sink into the groove of the record and maybe spread out. It's probably not gonna lay down super well. I'm gonna keep the gouache on the thicker side, which I'll show you guys. We're gonna keep it pretty simple design-wise today, nothing complicated, just because I wanna play around and see if this works. If it does work and we like the painting, I will go ahead and list it on my shop, and you can be the first to own a gouache vinyl record. Yeah, so let's get started. So I have a vinyl record here that has already been primed. For those of you who've not seen me do this on TikTok or whatever, I do tape my records down to their sleeves, just for painting purposes. It keeps them in place so they don't move around while I work on them. So we're gonna do this one today. I am also working in a brand new studio space because I just moved into my very first apartment. So I'm looking for design ideas. Also, I posted a TikTok about that if you wanna drop things in the comments. We've not decided what to do with the walls yet or things like that. So feel free to leave your opinions. Okay, so I have my cup of paint water, and I'm gonna use the 3 brushes that came with this set, just because I own mostly acrylic brushes and I wanna use the brushes that are designed for this kind of paint. And then let me open this up and show it to you guys. Here is the palette that it comes with, which of course I have paint all over the back of. And then this is what our paints look like. So I have actually recently just sort of taken care of these paints. If you get, you can get gouache in multiple forms, but if you get it in cup form like this, they come in these jelly cups. Let's see if I can get one out for you here. It's quite a lot of paint. You can also get them in tubes, but I do have to spray them down with water and remix them to make sure that they don't dry out. And I've had this set now for over a year. So I just recently went in and sort of fixed them up. And if you're interested in learning more about gouache, I highly recommend Kate Hickman Art. She uses gouache for all of her stuff, and it's really beautiful. She knows a lot about them and has a lot of good information, as well as color theory videos and things about how to use them. So definitely, if you want to know more about painting with gouache, I am not the professional on that subject. Okay, so as I'm thinking about design ideas today and looking at these colors, I'm thinking I'm actually gonna do some of the roses that I've done in the past. I've done these in blue, purple, and pink, and I'm thinking I might just do rainbow because I kind of want to see what all these colors look like with the black background compared to what the white background of a canvas would be, and I want to be able to play with as many colors as possible. So let's just make some blobs first. I think I'm gonna go with this brighter red. I think it's gonna show up better. You could use it straight out of the cup like this, but it's actually a little too thick. It's probably not gonna spread super well. So I am going to add a little bit of water to it, and we'll just see how this comes out. I'm gonna try this consistency. Let's just try it. This is always the scariest part. Okay, so this is painting on like an acrylic so far. This is a nice surprise. So it definitely, you know, it is not a solid opaque, but it does go on nicely. It doesn't look like there's any issues with the water in it. Here's a bit of a close-up look of the drying process. It's definitely taking a little bit longer to dry than acrylic paint. It's only been like 5 minutes, but I'm incredibly impatient and my cheap acrylic paint dries really quickly. Still, you can see in places where the edges are drying and the middle is still wet. So we'll just give it another 5 minutes. It has been over 30 minutes and they're still not entirely dry. But I'm gonna move on with the ones that are anyway for now, because I don't wanna wait any longer. Okay, so the second coat is looking great, and I am going to add a little bit of white to each of these colors and do that on top without it drying, just to see how it reacts. But so far, this is going really well. I'm actually so pleasantly surprised. Obviously, some of these colors worked a little better than others. The yellow and orange are still kind of see-through. The blue and pink and purple came out beautiful. I think that this was actually a lot easier than the acrylic paint I usually work with, although it did take longer to dry in between, so that's a downside. Okay, we're back. It's been probably over an hour, and this is what the dried version looks like. I think it came out so well. I really do. I'm debating an outline because I don't want to mess it up. My artists will understand that feeling. Thank you guys for joining me for this fun little video today. Let me know what else you want to see, if you have any fun ideas of things we can try, and otherwise insert exit spiel here. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, like, subscribe, etc., etc. You all know the gist. Have a great day.